It is Thursday, the 23rd day of November 2017. Hello there and welcome to News Tonight. Jonan Opori will be joining me shortly on the sign language desk. I'm Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. Let's get started straight away. President Yoweri Museveni has visited Bulusaba village in Bufupa Parish, Sironko district in eastern Uganda's Bugisu sub-region, where landslides claimed 7 lives of Ugandans about 3 months ago. Now, the president expressed his condolences to the relatives, friends and families who lost their loved ones on behalf of government and distributed relief items to some of the victims, as we hear in the following report.
President Yoweri Museveni yesterday visited Bulusaba village in Bufupa Parish, Sironko district in eastern Uganda, where landslides claimed 7 lives of Ugandans 3 months ago. The president expressed his condolences on behalf of the government of Uganda to the relatives, friends and families who lost their loved ones.
I came here to express condolences of the government for the people who died in Bufupa.
Atezile kubasasira watu bafa ifupa ne kubasasira onye ne mwesiza na bana Soroko anga government kajiro mukulu yezire nga baba wefe.
He later distributed relief items to some of the victims that were affected by the 28th August tragedy.
Uliona Makuwa.
Addressing a rally at Masaba Senior Secondary School playgrounds in Budadiri West constituency, Masaba sub-county, the president strongly warned on the dangers of residing on top of mountain cliffs and cultivating below the mountainous areas, saying that these activities have largely caused massive soil erosion leading to landslides.
We know that the mountain is good but also dangerous. The mountain, as you say in Rugisu here, mai wefe. And that is really exactly what it is. It is a very fertile part of the world, has got a lot of water, has got very good climate in terms of low temperatures. It's very good for tourism. That's why it is the Lukungu, Remai,
Masawa,
Wefe. Therefore, let us agree how to look after our mother so that our mother looks after us. For centuries.
Mr. Museveni said that he has mobilized funds to assist the people who are settled in the mountainous areas so that they can be relocated to safer places. The president also advised the people to be cognizant of the fact that the high and low areas of the cliffs should be only used for economic rather than residential purposes. He proposed that Wananchi should build houses 500 meters away from the bottom of the mountain, adding that government is ready to assist those that were planning to build organized houses following the demarcated distance.
And we are ready to assist those who can build settlements 500 meters, good settlements, good houses, 500 meters from, organized also, 500 meters from the base of the cliff.
The president informed the people that he has directed the Minister of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries, Honorable Vincent Bamlanga Chisempija, to return to their area and implement government programs of enlightened commercial farming in their mountainous environment.
But you can cultivate their perennial crops. You can have their coffee, you can have their avocados. We don't like these seasonal crops where you keep disturbing the. We want things which don't disturb the soil so much.
President Museveni encouraged Wananchi to practice social mobility as opposed to social stagnancy, noting that this would avert problems of overcrowding in the villages.
Grandfather
Baba Guga
Museveni is in the village.
Guga Museveni Mchara.
Muhozi, the son, is in the village. With education and skills, you should get social mobility so that many go do other things. Some stay here representing us.
The Minister for Relief and Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, commended President Museveni for going to Sironko district to share with the people their grief following the loss of lives due to the landslides. UBC TV, Harriet Nambi.
Thanks, Harriet, for that report there. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has held a meeting with a delegation of oil and gas investors from the United Kingdom who called on him at State House Entebbe. The 16-man delegation was led by Lord Popat of Harrow, who is the United Kingdom Prime Minister's trade envoy to Uganda and Rwanda, and the British High Commissioner to Uganda, Mr. Peter West. And the delegation included consultants in the oil and gas sector, bankers, manufacturers of pipeline equipment, and engineers, among others. President Museveni said partnership between the United Kingdom and Uganda was important for business growth, adding that Uganda's security and infrastructure development will ease business. Lord Popat said the delegation sought to strengthen the existing business relationships and establish new ones between the United Kingdom and Uganda. Meanwhile, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has assured a delegation of over 200 national resistance movement and Entebbe municipality cadres that security has been restored in their area following a recent spate of murder incidents. The president made the remarks at a dinner he hosted in their honor at State House Entebbe with the delegation led by Entebbe Woman Member of Parliament, Honorable Rose Tumsime. The president revealed that since the insecurity has been eliminated, government will improve on the infrastructure. Regarding production, President Museveni urged the people of Entebbe municipality to embark on peri-urban agriculture, reminding them that modern agriculture and livestock management is a sure way towards the eradication of household poverty. Entebbe Woman Member of Parliament, Rose Tumsime, saluted the President for Uganda's peace and thanked him for deploying the UPDF on Lake Victoria to control illegal fishing activities. Entebbe NRM Chairman Mr. Stephen Kabuye revealed that the expansion of Entebbe International Airport is benefiting the residents in a very big way. To the health sector now, where the government of Uganda has signed for a new $478 million grant from the Global Fund for the period of 2018 to 2020 to cater for medicines and medical supplies to combat HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis and malaria. The grant signing ceremony of the Global Fund to the government of Uganda under the theme Quest for Improved Health Service Delivery was presided over by the Prime Minister, Dr. Hakana Rugunda, at Hotel Africana here in Kampala. This report, courtesy of the Prime Minister's press unit.
The Global Fund grants to support HIV, TB and malaria programs for the period of 2018 to 2020 have been launched today following the approval by the Global Fund Board of US $478 million, including catalytic funding and emergency funds for refugees. The Global Fund resources will be channeled through the Ministry of Finance and TASO. Speaking at the grant signing ceremony of the Global Fund, Prime Minister Dr. Hakana Rugunda said it was yet another milestone in the quest for improved health service provision in the country. The Premier said government is committed to improving health provision as part of the drive to attaining middle income status by the year 2020.
This support of the Global Fund aimed at supporting the Uganda population to access essential supplies through free grants of TB, malaria, and HIV is therefore a very important contribution and great support to the government strategy. And we to thank the Board of Global Fund for approving the funding to the Uganda government million.
Dr. Rugunda also appreciated the financial contributions and technical support by other development and implementing partners such as USAID, DFID, World Health Organization, and UNICEF. The Prime Minister called upon the Ministry of Health and Finance to ensure that the grants availed by Global Fund aimed at supporting HIV, tuberculosis, and malaria programs are fully utilized and accounted for promptly.
I implore the Honorable Minister of Health in the vicinity, accompanied by the Permanent Secretary, so all the loopholes are closed. I implore on the Honorable Minister and also on TASO to ensure that the funds are invested in the intended areas and are accounted for promptly.
He said that this funding availed through the 3 grants is the highest donation Global Fund has ever made to any African country, and thus called for its proper accountability. Rugunda also noted that much as the government of Uganda is committed to fighting against HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis is the leading cause of death among those living with HIV. He thanked the partners for availing $8.5 million to Uganda to partly cater for the refugees, noting that the refugee influx in the country exerts pressure on the existing social services. The Minister of Health, Dr. Jane Acheng, thanked Global Fund and other development partners in the health sector for enhancing Uganda's efforts to control diseases, noting that grants will enable people to get treatment and hence save lives.
The Global Fund contribution has been very instrumental to our achievements in terms of our statistics of the 3 diseases, HIV, TB, and malaria, as well as strengthening the capacity of our health systems to manage these diseases and other diseases. The Global Fund, PEPFAR, and other development partners have worked with us every step as we sought to address our treatment gaps for the 3 diseases.
Acheng, however, noted that there are still funding gaps in the health sector, which must be fixed if Uganda is to achieve its health targets. She pledged political and technical support on behalf of the Ministry of Health to ensure that the grants are effectively and efficiently utilized and accounted for. The interim Executive Director of Global Fund, Dr. Marie-Jake Winrocks, commended Uganda for its significant fight against HIV/AIDS. She, however, noted that the treatment of tuberculosis and malaria is still challenging in Uganda. She called for combined efforts in the implementation of the grants program to achieve results.
And then I really want to sincerely thank the government of Uganda and all our partners here for the robust partnership we've developed and built in the effort to end HIV, TB, and malaria as epidemics in this country. Together we've made great progress over the last 40 years. Uganda was the first African country to significantly reduce HIV prevalence rates. More recently, the results of a population-based assessment demonstrated that Uganda has made significant progress in the national HIV response.
The Minister of State for Finance and Planning, David Bahati, thanked Global Fund for contributing towards the fight against diseases in Uganda. He pledged on behalf of government to ensure proper accountability of the funds.
On behalf of government, we want to commit that never again will it happen for the people of Uganda or any official in government to swindle and eat away money, kill people by taking away the money that is supposed to save them.
He said government is in the process of increasing the health budget because a health population contributes towards a healthy economy. The launch was attended by United States Ambassador Her Excellency Deborah Malak, who pledged continued support of United States to Uganda's health sector, the Permanent Secretary of Health, Dr. Diana Atwine, and the Executive Director of TASO, Dr. Michael Bernard Etukoit, among others. During Nasasra, UBC News.
Now to matters pertaining to local politics, and a tough race is expected in Igara East parliamentary by-elections as 6 candidates have been nominated following High Court's nullification of the elections on grounds of voter bribery. Busheni District Registrar Godfrey Mbabazi says the exercise has had no irregularities. Now UBC TV talked to some of these parliamentarians about their expectations and manifestos.
The nomination exercise is going on smoothly. We have not had any incident, any sort of disruption so far in the exercise. It is being peacefully conducted. The candidates are having less hassles.
After the nullification of our election, I came back to seek re-election into Parliament. And what I had started on is what I'm meant to complete or to continue. For example, we had started on following up projects of government, electricity in various areas in our constituency, health, improve the health sector, especially at Health Center 3s.
I feel on the shoulder for Igara East. We have challenges in Igara East, especially for family issues. We have had many killings, murder between the spouses, and I feel if I become their MP, I need to put a project where we shall have councillors, because these days the sengas or aunties, paternal aunties, are no longer in use for this work. And if I become their MP, I have a feeling that I'll put such a project to help our families, whereby if they are cancelled, these killings will slow down.
We never have meetings in the constituency. The office of the member of parliament in the constituency is not there or is inactive. As such, there is a very big gap, and you realize that most times the member of parliament does not, his views do not reflect the aspirations of the people because he does not consult them. But I'm coming in to close that gap, have consultative meetings in the constituency in every sub-county, quarterly. I'm going to open offices in every sub-county.
Those are some of the Igara East parliamentary aspirants. They are, of course, giving their views in as far as what they need to do for their constituency is concerned, but especially their different manifestos. Now, let's come back closer to home here, and of course, talking about Kampala City, where Kampala City Lord Mayor and councillors have asked the KCCA technical team to hold collections of road user fees from taxi operators and advised the operators to remind the president on developing an annual levy. At a press conference held here in Kampala, the Lord Mayor, Erias Lukwago, said the enforcement mad with brutality needs to be done lawfully, but KCCA Executive Director Jennifer Musisi says they are waiting for an official government statement.
Around the end of last month, Kampala Capital City Authority came out and announced to resume collection of road user fees that had been suspended in a presidential directive 3 months back. People in the tax business contested paying the 120,000 road user fees, saying the president in his directive recommended for a reduction in the amount levied and to be charged annually. Wednesday, as KCCA revenue enforcement officers went to Old Tax Park to enforce, they ended in running battles with operators, resulting in injuries and arrests.
The principle of a good tax system is that it shouldn't be levied on a monthly basis. It has to be annual. But because we really wanted to strike a balance between revenue collection and also fairness to the taxi operators, we said, okay, let us have that middle ground. They pay 80,000. That was agreed upon. We had several meetings.
Now, the elected leadership of Kampala has condemned the brutality, accusing the Executive Director, KCCA, for failure to manage the enforcement and the Minister for Kampala for not considering their council resolutions. The Lord Mayor, Erias Lukwago, re-emphasized the need for a bill for an ordinance to streamline the management of tax business, expressing disappointment with the approach used by the Executive Director and Betty Kamya to reinstate the 120,000 monthly levy.
That for the 3 months, August, September and October, there was no collection. And what was lost was Uganda shillings 6 billion. You can see this. Total crisis, simply because matatus have not paid. For only 3 months. Meaning that actually KCCA is surviving on taxes. That is dangerous. If you do not lift the ban on collection of matatu levies, we are closing down KCCA. That's what they told him.
As the political leadership, they have urged the enforcement to halt the operations. The Executive Director KCCA, Jennifer Musisi, denied knowing people carrying out operations downtown, not in KCCA uniform.
Able to talk about the taxi rates today because we are waiting.
Meanwhile, members of Kampala City Leaders Forum have revealed plans of summoning Betty Kamya to put her in order because they feel she cannot continue acting on behalf of people of Kampala.
Today, you hear she's tabling an amendment bill to amend the KCCA Act. She does not even get the courtesy to consult. Cannot just witness this one as city leaders. I'm here to tell you that we are convening soon, summoning Kamya, and make sure that she's put in proper order. We cannot leave Kampala degenerate into a society like a leaderless society. They are leaders.
In another development, the political leadership of Kampala has reaffirmed that Chankwanzi training is not a KCCA program and majority never attended. I'm Navka Farida and Gloria Gwitabinji reporting.
News Tonight will now take a short break, but we'll be back with a lot more, including what's cooking in as far as the Students' Loan Scheme is concerned. See you shortly.
Living proof that even with HIV, I can live a healthy, productive life. And that's because I began taking my ARVs the day I tested HIV positive.
I still run my business like normal despite being HIV positive. That's because I immediately started taking ARVs the day I tested positive.
The day I tested HIV positive, I began taking ARVs to protect our baby.
Don't give HIV a chance to weaken your body. Ask your health worker to start you on ARVs the day you test positive.
Furniture brings to you international classic and modern sofa sets, dining tables, state-of-art bedrooms set up with orthopedic mattresses that brings life to your sitting room. At Dreamline Furniture, we offer customized furniture in different sizes, colors, and designs. Change your living room into a reality this festive season. Come and enjoy our big discount. We are located at Pioneer House opposite Shell Ginger Road. For more information, contact the numbers on your screen.
Welcome back from that short break, and this is News Tonight. John Anopori is on sign language, and I'm Edward Rukidi Kijanangoma. Now, our very own Banadiga has been awarded with the Best News Reporter accolade in the television category for best reporting on population and development issues. The event, held on the sidelines of the launch of the State of the Population report, was graced by Government Chief Whip Ruth Nankabirwa. Here are some of the excerpts from that occasion.
Well, I submitted 3 stories. The first one was about HIV/AIDS in Chisoro and Kampala, where the influx of non-citizens from Rwanda and Congo sharing the same drugs with Ugandans, causing stockouts in most hospitals' stores. The other one was about contraception, family planning being low in Palisa district. And then the last one, which I did recently, was about the teenage pregnancies in Palisa district, which was so alarming to an extent of warning His Excellency the President of Uganda to warn parents in those areas not to mark off their daughters when they are still young. This has been my 3rd attempt with these awards, and finally here I am. I'm so happy for UBC TV. Thanks everyone. UBC TV Newsroom, this is coming for you.
Will be given to each of them.
Congratulations, Bernard Yiga, and of course Bernard Yiga is the 2nd one so far, following Simon Mugisha's award, which he won recently in Kigali, Rwanda. Now, Museveni District local government authorities are designing a bylaw with which to sensitize charcoal producers to adopt new technologies. The Deputy District Chairperson and Secretary for Natural Resources in Museveni District, Edward Birungi Ziwa, says the move will also abolish traditional earth kilns that are environmentally hazardous, as we hear in this report.
The 2016 National Charcoal Survey reveals that 99.9% of charcoal used in Uganda is produced in insufficient traditional earth kilns that have a 10 to 15% efficiency, meaning that for every 100 kilograms of wood used, only 10 to 15 kilograms of charcoal are produced. This also implies that Uganda loses about 60 million tons of wood annually, coupled with revenue collection through insufficient cleanings. Authorities say massive sensitization of those involved in charcoal is underway on how to use the new and soon-to-be compulsory technologies, with non-compliance being punishable by law.
It saves up to 35% of charcoal. When you use it, there is less wastage. There is less wastage on charcoal, on the logs being inserted on the kiln. Because in our traditional way, in these days people lose a lot of charcoal through commonly known as rusenye. People lose a lot of it because of the poor system of arranging the kiln. But this one you save a lot. Whatever you put in the kiln is really got out during the harvest.
Green Charcoal Project has exhibited new technologies like Casamesa kilns and retorts that are environmental friendly and generate quality charcoal. Creation of technologies has availed employment and training for the communities on how to conserve forests while trading in charcoal.
We have encouraged our communities not to cut down trees for the production of charcoal, but to use the residues of maize and beans and any other pieces of rubbish, whatever, to be burnt, to be converted into charcoal, other than using these trees, which are cut down before replacing.
Charcoal experts say that Uganda needs to regulate the industry with a national charcoal policy that will pave way for improved energy supply. Abraham White, UBC News, Mubende.
Do not cut down trees for charcoal burning, but you can use residues of maize. Now, a memorandum of understanding has been signed, between the Higher Education Students Financing Board and the Federation of Uganda Employers to facilitate revenue collection from employers benefiting from the scheme. The signing of the MOU was witnessed by State Minister for Higher Education, Mr. Chrysostom Muyingo. We have more on that in this report.
The need to recover money from benefiting students of the Education Fund in higher learning institutions has prompted the board higher institutions on loans and to contract the Federation of Uganda Employers to collect money from employers of the already employed students. Minister for Higher Education, Dr. John Chrysostom Muyingo, says the money is a resolving fund that should be able to support other needed students.
The Act provides that the board may enter into collaboration and network with other persons and bodies or organizations within and outside Uganda for the better carrying out of its functions.
Dr. Chrysostom Muyingo was addressing the press at the Media Center in Kampala, where he witnessed the signing of a memorandum of understanding. Dr. Muyingo clarified that the purpose to partner between the two parties is to put in place a mechanism which will have a systematic way of collecting money.
It is a fund intended to provide financing to Ugandan students who have qualified for higher education in recognized institutions of higher learning, but are unable to support themselves financially. Parliament passed the Act in 2014 to regulate student financing in the country.
Muyingo added adopting a representative from the Higher Education Students Board as a member on the Governing Council to the Federation of Uganda Employers, sharing database between the two organs, scrutinizing mode of penalties, and carrying out sensitization trainings will be key areas of concern that will be emphasized. Banoya Cosmos reporting in Kampala.
Now let's shift our attention to the health sector once again. And mothers at Mukono Health Center 4 and Chireka Home for Children with Special Education Needs have benefited from a goodwill gesture by students of SATA High School. The mainly divinity class students delivered goodies including food and beverages, sanitary items plus stationery.
With everyone who is here, because as we all know, not everyone is born with equal opportunities. So we are here today to give them a better chance at life, to give them a better opportunity in their lives, and to give them happiness as we can as a SATA High School community.
As a school, we sympathize with every person in the country who is affected by the strike of the doctors. But I would like to call upon everyone who is concerned to come and help, just like SATA High School. We are together, we are Ugandans, we have to be united so as we can have a better country.
The reason why we are here is to help the young children. Since we are all young children, it's better that we support each other, and maybe if we help them, the government will also notice that very many children in our country need our help. For if we don't fight for those in our motherland, then what else is going to happen to those that we love and care?
And we are here at Chireka Educational Institute for needy students. We have decided to come here as a SATA community to give back to the community and save the lives of many Ugandans suffering due to the poor service delivery in this country.
Welcome back. Now, organizations dealing in humanitarian work want government to adequately budget for disaster management to improve disaster response. Now, officiating at the launch of Uganda Humanitarian Learning Platform, the General Secretary, Uganda Red Cross Society, Robert Kwesiga, pointed out that dependence on external funding for humanitarian activities needed to be reduced.
According to the World Bank, 200,000 Ugandans are affected by different disasters annually. However, when disasters occur, there are questions raised around the response and mitigation mechanisms. It is against this backdrop that 10 organizations have come together to form Uganda Humanitarian Learning Platform to improve on the effectiveness of humanitarian response through learning and knowledge management. Launching the platform, the Secretary General Uganda Red Cross Society Robert Kwesiga underscored the need for government to allocate adequate resources for disaster management.
Failure to do that
then you are depending for humanitarian work on international organizations and the international community, which you have no control over. Say either time they come too late, or they come with conditions which may not necessarily meet what is the right packages that is needed.
The program coordinator, Development Research Training, Sanyu Rebecca, emphasizes that knowledge sharing is important in disaster response and mitigation.
So then you would have people who are professionals, researchers, academicians, whose job is to generate information and be able to give it to responders.
Most common disasters in Uganda range from landslides, floods, prolonged drought, all caused by the current climate change. Mutonyi Hilda and Adia Nakuti, UBC.
Combating the HIV/AIDS epidemic seems to be failing after a number of interventions have failed to meet expectations after the national prevalence rate has stagnated at 7.4%. The Bishop of Kasana Luweero Diocese, Paul Semogerere, says promotion of condom use could promote sexual immorality amongst Ugandans. He wants faithfulness in marriage and abstinence before marriage as government and non-state actors stop preaching condom use.
2017 marks 35 years since the first Ugandan to be diagnosed with HIV was discovered near Kasensero landing site, believed to have carried the disease from Tanzania. Being the most devastating pandemic in world history, HIV/AIDS affected Rakai, Lyantonde and Masaka districts, where survivors fled to other regions, prompting government and non-government actors to develop prevention strategies and offer psychosocial support to the infected and affected. Kasana Luweero Bishop Paul Semogerere doesn't support the use of condoms, saying this has seemingly increased adultery, adding that it is against biblical laws.
We have in Uganda now, and which the church discourages promiscuity. And this promiscuity is very rampant, and this is what condoms promote. You give a condom to a child, you are promoting promiscuity.
But the executive director, Meeting Point Kampala, Chamsa Obongo, Mama Noelina Namokisa says they can't exclude the message of condom use among the prevention strategies, which the organization has executed for over 20 years now.
There is no way you can say don't.
As International AIDS Day draws close, due on 1st December, Mama Noelina Namokisa appeals to Ugandans to be more vigilant in the struggle to combat HIV/AIDS. Douglas Setumba compiled this report.
Explore more, discover more. It can get a little done. It will be a little more. This worth a try since I'm winning. Not afraid of that word. Now the stains, no germs. With my days are fresher than fresh. The Martin family, family, family. White Star earn something more. It's a part of your life. The Martin family, family, family. White Star earn something more. It's a part of your life.
Welcome back. Let's talk business now. And the annual report shows that Uganda Electricity Generation Company assets have grown by over 200% in the last 18 months. Now, the report was released at the 7th Annual General Meeting at the Ministry of Finance and Economic Development headquarters here in Kampala.
Uganda Electricity Generation Company Limited total assets grew from 1 trillion shillings in 2015 to 3.3 trillion shillings in June 2017. At the release of the audited financial statements for the 18 months ending 30th June in Kampala, the Executive Director, Engineer Harrison Mutikanga, said the improvement could lead to the listing of the company on Uganda's stock exchange.
We have engaged experts who are working on it. There are so many requirements that are needed to list on the stock exchange.
At the stakeholder annual general meeting, State Minister for Investment Evelyn Anite underlined the importance of the energy sector growth towards the achievement of the middle income status.
The Simba and Karuma dam projects, as you know, those two projects will take us to middle income status because we'll be having availability of electricity that can make us to have enough factories here that will employ our young people. As a government, our focus is to reach middle income status.
Meanwhile, following the Auditor General concerns on the wanting operation and maintenance regime by the concessionaire Eskom Uganda, UAGCL will be emphatic in the supervision of Nalubale and Kira hydropower dams.
The issues raised have been brought to the concessionaire, and we are in strengthening them. We do monitor, but we are going to be more emphatic on ensuring that they are rectified, and in the event that they are unable, the CAA gives us a way forward, and I think we just have to impose what the CAA.
Through a generation mix of hydro, solar and geothermal power, Uganda could deliver 920 megawatts in the next 5 years. Dennis Ikoa for UBC News.
Public and private policy makers under the East and Central Africa Social Security Association have proposed a collaboration towards harmonizing policies that will improve social security in the region. The new chairman of the regional body, Richard Byarugaba, says collaboration will enhance the social security landscape.
This conference is attended by delegations coming all over the world.
The 10th Eastern Central Africa Social Security Association Policymakers Conference in Kampala is themed Transforming Social Security from Theory to Practice.
Decision makers need spaces to learn from practices in regulation and policy from different countries. Uganda has a parliamentary forum for social protection, but it only covers one aspect of social protection. Burundi is a good example. It set up an interministerial commission with ministers of different areas to speak about social protection. ICASA can be a forum for leadership talk.
Top on the agenda is to improve social security coverage in the region. In his inaugural speech, the new chairman of ICASA, Richard Byarugaba, underscored the need for tapping into the informal sector.
The informal sector, which forms the largest segment of the labor force within our region, still remains outside of the reach of social security, and it's not covered by any other form of social protection.
Representing the Prime Minister, Dr. Ruhakana Rugunda, Honorable Mary Karoro Okrut urged ICASA members to deliberate on issues that place the region's population at the center of social protection service delivery.
The success of social security institutions is not measured only by the money it generates, not only by the investments it undertakes or the employment it provides. Rather, it is also assessed by the efficiency and effectiveness with which it delivers services
to its constituents.
The conference has attracted participants from Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Zambia, Burundi, and South Sudan. Charlotte Amuge and Dennis Igoa, UBC Business.
Now, the Ugandan National Bureau of Standards, KCCA, and Uganda Revenue Authority officials have failed to impound fake products from different shops, especially from dealers in electronics. Now, this comes after traders along William Street at Royal Plaza barred the enforcement officers, accusing them of being corrupt.
The National Bureau of Standards, KCCA, and URA officials have failed to impound fake products from different shops, especially from dealers in electronics. This comes after traders along William Street at Royal Plaza barred the enforcement officers, accusing them of being corrupt.
ne bakukwata ebisitema ne bakuta ne biyita emukono ne bakuta n'otuuka nga bimaze emyezi ne budduuka ne babisangamu gurawundi ki era ki kye baba tebafunye mu kkubo era ki kye baba batwagaza era tuddewa abachina b'amaduuka gaabwe gategalina agafa.
Many traders import fake products, especially electronics, drugs and foodstuffs, which Uganda National Bureau of Standards, KCCA and URA enforcement officers sought to impound from their shops along William Street at Royal Plaza. The traders engaged in bitter exchanges with the officers and stopped them from taking their merchandise, allegedly blaming them of corruption.
Levels we have confiscated, but ideally the stipulated time is about 30 days. Sometimes if we get so many, we may allow them to accumulate over a period of time and then destroy them within 6 months.
Traders with whom we interacted expressed dissatisfaction with the way the operations are being carried out. 900 million shillings was destroyed in July this year in Nakasongola in a period of 30 days to 6 months. Patrick Mugeruan Moriniga compiled this report.
Now, Uganda is set to host a high-level East African Agribusiness Conference where participants from over 6 African countries will showcase different developments in agriculture. The Congress, organized by the Green Council of Uganda, NAD's Secretariat, Ministry of Agriculture and other partners, will be hosted at the National Crops Resource Research Institute at Namulonge starting on the 29th of this month.
Farming, but for many years they have farmed at a level that is not business, that is not commercial. So for a long time, government is working with everybody to promote, to transform our agriculture from subsistence to a commercialized activity. And therefore, this conference is very much an opportunity for us to work with.
And lastly, in our business segment, Uganda has marked the Africa Industrial Day, with investors calling on government to waive taxes and make policies to ensure that a harmonious working environment exists. Now, with the official celebrations held at the Ginger Trade Show grounds, emphasis has been put on boosting intra-African trade.
World Industrialization Day. But while we look at other industries celebrating, Uganda Plastic Manufacturers and Recyclers Association, the association for over 45 industries, Uganda is set to lose 45 industries as NEMA forces new Environment Act. Uganda Plastic Sector, through the umbrella association UPUMRA, wishes to express discontent about the continued fight by NEMA to close down the 45 plastic industries which are giving 65,000 direct jobs through manufacturing and recycling. NEMA's proposed new Environment Act is also cast to kill the enormous plastic bag recycling industries. We are now seeking the 45 billion compensation, which is going to be distributed to the all industries, as it was also reflected in the previous ruling.
World News now, and Rwanda has offered to give refuge to around 30,000 African migrants stuck in Libya, often in enslaved conditions. Now, this comes in the wake of a video released by CNN last week showing men being auctioned off as farm workers for as little as $400. Now, hundreds of thousands of Africans travel through Libya every year as they try to make their way to Europe. They are often held by smugglers and forced to work for little or no money at all.
If they run out of money to pay their smugglers.
Brought to you by
Sports news now, and Entebbe University has expressed a readiness to host the 17th Inter-University Games that begin on the 16th of December, where President Museveni is expected to be the chief guest.
Officials of Association of Uganda University Sports have toured facilities and been left impressed by works at Entebbe University. There are works on the main football field, netball, volleyball and tennis courts, as well as the state-of-the-art swimming pool.
We have visited Entebbe University and we are extremely impressed by the progress. We are very sure that when it comes to 16th December, all the facilities will be very well for the games.
The University Vice-Chancellor, Professor Elia Buluguji, is optimistic the games will be a success.
We know that there is a general economic downturn in the country, but also we know that we expected to deliver and preserve our image. As a university, we have already invested heavily in the refurbishment of the facilities, and more is still required.
The institution will, on its Silver Jubilee celebrations, host the Inter-University Games in December, where all the country's institutions will participate to take on hosts Entebbe, who are defending champions. John Barnes, Sentamo, reporting.
Now, futsal fans are being thrilled to entertainment football games as Uganda's best futsal clubs compete in the Super League tonight with 6 matches to be played at the International Futsal Courts in Mengo. Now, Yap Stars are playing against Yip. Riham are tussling it out against Dream, whereas Parakits face off Park, among other matches, in the 4th round of the 2017-2018 season. Now, in results from games in and around 3, Sona beat Yap Stars 7-4. Park lost 3-5 to KPSG. Dream humbled Elephants 7-3 and Typhoons thumped Riham 5-1. And finally, a Uganda Olympic Committee has continued its influential role in sports development in the country with an international sports law seminar scheduled to take place in Kampala starting this Friday. Uganda Olympic Committee General Secretary Donald Rukade says the essence of the seminar was born from the fact that sports law in Uganda and Africa in general remains a grey area that needs thorough attention.
Within the established sports dispute resolution mechanisms, be it mediation, arbitration, or the Court of Arbitration for Sport, are not the main courts. Again, we shall discuss some of those issues. The other one is going to be on WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, and the Anti-Doping Code, because there are a number of infractions that come up in that area, and there are a lot of legal issues around there. There's also the question around dealing with transfers of people who involved in football. A lot of legal questions from clubs. What are the implications and challenges? So those are the primary. Then we shall also ask the participants to organize a number of panel discussions where participants will give their experiences from their country. They say we have 16 countries from Africa coming. So we want to hear from about 9 to 10 of them who will give us their experience on how they resolve their sports disputes within their jurisdiction. Do they go to normal courts? Do they have their own sports resolution disputes? I know Nigeria, for example, we hope to learn from them. They are setting up their own kind of court of arbitration.
And that sports segment brings us to the end of News Tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company. Jono Nopori has been on sign language, and I am Edward Rukidi Kijanongama, wishing you a blessed night.